My name is Khalid. I am 28 years old. I was born in Mosul, Iraq. My father was an imam. My mother covered her face every day of her life. I never played with toys like other children. At 5 years old, my father gave me my first knife. A Muslim boy must be strong, he said. The enemies of Allah are everywhere. Our house was cold. The walls were thick stone. My father's voice echoed when he prayed 5 times each day. I learned to kneel beside him. I learned to recite the words, but inside my chest something felt empty. When I turned 7, my father took me to the mosque basement. Other boys were there. Men in black clothes taught us to fight. They showed us pictures of enemies, Christians, Jews, Americans. These people want to destroy Islam, they said. You must be ready. I learned to hold a gun when I was 8. The metal was heavy and cold in my small hands. My instructor, Abu Hassan, smiled when I hit the target. Good boy, Khalid. Allah is pleased with you. My mother never spoke about the training. She cooked our meals in silence. Sometimes I caught her watching me from the corner of her eye. Her face looked sad, but she never said anything. In our house, women did not question men. At 10, I could disassemble a rifle in 2 minutes. At 12, I could hit a target from 500 meters. My father was proud. My son will be a warrior for Allah, he told the other men. But late at night, when everyone was asleep, I stared at the ceiling. The empty feeling in my chest grew bigger. I wondered why I felt nothing when the men talked about paradise. I wondered why their eyes looked so angry when they spoke about love. I never asked these questions out loud. In our world, questions were dangerous. Doubt was a sin. So I buried my thoughts deep inside and kept training. The war was coming closer to Mosul. Every day we heard explosions in the distance. My father's friends talked about jihad. They said it was time for young men to fight. They said dying for Allah was the greatest honor. I was 15 when they gave me my first real mission. My first mission was simple. Watch the Christian family on Al-Rashid Street. Report their movements. Count how many people visited their house. I sat on a rooftop across from their home for 3 days. The father was a doctor. The mother taught children in secret. They had 2 daughters. The youngest was maybe 6 years old. Every morning, I watched them through my scope. The little girl played in their small garden. She laughed when butterflies landed on the flowers. Her mother sang while hanging clothes on the line, soft songs I had never heard before. Something stirred in my chest when I watched them. They looked peaceful, free, different from the families in our neighborhood where everyone walked with fear in their eyes. Did you see anything suspicious? Abu Hassan asked when I returned. No, I lied. Just normal family activities. He hit me across the face, hard. Never say normal about infidels, Khalid. They are enemies of Islam. Their peace is fake. Their smiles are lies. My cheek burned, but I kept my face blank. Yes, sir, I understand. But I did not understand. I had seen no weapons in their house, no meetings, no plans, just a family living quietly. The rules in our community were clear. No music except religious chants, no pictures on the walls, no books except the Quran. Women could not laugh loudly. Children could not play too much. Joy was suspicious. My father watched me constantly. You are becoming a man now, Khalid. I see doubt in your eyes. Doubt is Satan's whisper. You must fight it. He made me memorize verses about jihad, hours every day. My throat hurt from reciting. My knees hurt from kneeling. But the words felt like stones in my mouth, heavy, cold. Our imam preached about paradise every Friday. 72 virgins waiting for martyrs, rivers of honey and milk, golden palaces. But when I closed my eyes and tried to imagine paradise, I saw the little Christian girl playing in her garden instead. This confused me. This scared me. I started waking up in the middle of the night, sweating, my heart racing. Dreams of explosions, dreams of blood, dreams of faces I had never seen but somehow knew I would have to kill. My mother brought me tea one night when she found me awake. Her hands shook as she set the cup down. "Mama," I whispered, "are you afraid?" She looked toward the door, made sure my father was not listening. Then she touched my face gently. Her eyes filled with tears. "Every day," she whispered back. It was the first honest thing anyone had said to me in years. The next morning, Abu Hassan gave me a real rifle, not for practice, for killing. "The doctor's family," he said. "Tomorrow night. Make it quick." My hands trembled as I took the weapon. The metal felt heavier than ever before. I could not sleep that night. The rifle lay beside my bed, like a snake ready to strike. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the little girl's face. Her laughter echoed in my mind. My father knocked on my door before dawn. "Time for prayer, son." We knelt together in the darkness. He recited verses about victory over enemies, about purifying the land from infidels. His voice was strong and certain. Mine cracked on every word. After prayer, he put his hand on my shoulder. "Tonight you become a true warrior. I am proud of you." I wanted to feel proud too. I wanted to feel the fire that burned in his eyes. Instead, my stomach twisted into knots. At breakfast, I could not eat. My mother set bread and honey before me, but everything tasted like sand. She watched me push the food around my plate. Her face looked grey with worry. "Eat," my father commanded. "You need strength for tonight." I forced down a few bites. They sat in my throat like stones. The day moved slowly. Abu Hassan took me to the training ground one last time. "Remember," he said, "aim for the head, quick and clean. Do not let them suffer unnecessarily." His words sounded reasonable, almost kind, but my hands would not stop shaking. "What if they run?" I asked. "They will not run. The house has only one exit. Ahmed will block it." "What if the children scream?" Abu Hassan's eyes hardened. "Children of infidels grow up to be adult infidels. You are saving them from a life of sin." But I remembered the little girl's laugh, pure and innocent. How could such joy come from sin? That afternoon, I walked through the marketplace. Vendors sold fruit and bread. Children played soccer in the dust. Women carried water jugs on their heads. Everything looked normal, but inside me, a storm was building. I found myself standing outside the mosque. The call to prayer echoed from the minaret. Men filed inside, their faces serious and devout. I followed them. During the service, I tried to pray. I tried to find peace in the familiar words, but my mind kept wandering. I thought about the Christian family. I thought about my mother's tears. I thought about the empty feeling that had lived in my chest for so many years. The Imam's voice boomed above us. "Allah commands us to fight his enemies. Paradise awaits those who obey without question." Without question. That phrase hit me like a blow. My whole life had been about not questioning, not thinking, not feeling anything except anger toward people I had never met. But what if questions were not evil? What if doubt was not Satan's whisper, but something else, something deeper? After the service, I walked home slowly. The sun was setting. In a few hours, I would have to climb that rooftop, load my rifle, point it at a sleeping family. My chest felt hollow, not empty anymore. Hungry, like something inside me was starving and had been starving for years. I sat on our front step and watched the stars appear. One by one, they lit up the darkness, beautiful and distant and free. For the first time in my life, I wondered what it would feel like to be free. At midnight, I climbed onto the rooftop across from the doctor's house. The city was quiet except for distant dogs barking. My rifle felt cold against my cheek as I looked through the scope. The house was dark. The family was sleeping. All I had to do was wait for Abu Hassan's signal. One flash of his light, and I would pull the trigger. I steadied my breathing like I had been taught. In, out, in, out. My finger rested on the trigger. Everything was ready. But as I watched the dark windows, something strange happened. A soft light began glowing from inside the house. Not electric light, something different, warmer. I adjusted my scope to see better. Through one window, I could see the mother sitting beside her daughter's bed. The little girl was awake, crying softly. The mother was singing to her. The song was quiet, but somehow I could hear it clearly. The melody was unlike anything I had ever heard, not harsh like our chants, not angry like our prayers. This was gentle, peaceful, full of love. My hand began to shake on the rifle. The crosshairs moved away from the window. Then something impossible happened. The mother looked up, straight at me. Through the scope, Our eyes met. She could not have seen me in the darkness. It was impossible. But she was looking directly at me. She did not scream. She did not run. Instead, she smiled. A sad, gentle smile. And she mouthed words I somehow understood. God loves you. My heart stopped beating. The rifle slipped in my hands. How could she know I was there? How could she speak to me across that distance? And why was she not afraid? The light in the room grew brighter. It seemed to flow through the window and reach toward me, warm, inviting. Nothing like the cold fire we talked about in our prayers. I closed my eyes and shook my head. This was not real. It was a trick, Satan trying to confuse me before my mission. But when I opened my eyes again, the mother was still looking at me, still smiling. The little girl had stopped crying and was sleeping peacefully now. In that moment, something broke inside my chest, not in a painful way. Like a door opening after being locked for years, I had been taught that Christians were evil, that they hated us, that they wanted to destroy Islam. But this woman knew I was here to kill her family, and she was telling me that God loved me. My finger moved away from the trigger. I could not do it. I could not kill people who showed me more kindness in one moment than I had felt in years of devotion. Abu Hassan's light flashed once from the street below. The signal, time to shoot. I lifted my head from the scope and looked down at him. He flashed the light again, impatiently. I was supposed to acknowledge the signal. I was supposed to complete my mission. Instead, I picked up my rifle and climbed down from the rooftop. My legs shook with each step. Abu Hassan was waiting in the shadows. "Is it done?" he whispered. I looked at him. Then I looked back at the house where the warm light still glowed softly in the window. "No," I said. "I could not do it." His face twisted with rage. "What do you mean you could not do it? It is a simple shot." "They are not what we were told," I whispered. "They are not evil." He grabbed my shirt and pulled me close. His breath was hot with anger. "You are weak. You have failed Allah." But for the first time in my life, I did not feel weak. Something new was growing inside me. Something that felt like strength. Something that felt like truth. Abu Hassan's fist hit my jaw before I could react. I stumbled backward, tasting blood in my mouth. "You have brought shame on your family," he shouted. "On our cause, on Allah himself." 3 other men stepped out of the shadows. I recognized them all. They had trained me, fed me, taught me to pray. Now their eyes burned with hatred. "Take him home," Abu Hassan ordered. "Let his father deal with this disgrace." They dragged me through the empty streets. My feet scraped against the stones. Blood dripped from my lip onto my shirt. But inside, that warm light was still glowing. Nothing they did could put it out. My father was waiting at our door. Abu Hassan had called ahead. Even in the darkness, I could see the rage on his face. "Is it true?" he demanded. "Did you refuse to complete your mission?" I looked at him. This man who had raised me, who had taught me to fight, who had been so proud when I learned to kill. "Yes," I said quietly. "I could not do it." His hand cracked across my face, harder than Abu Hassan's punch. My ear rang like a bell. "You are no son of mine," he said. "You are a coward, a traitor." My mother appeared in the doorway. Her face was white with fear. She reached toward me, but my father pushed her back inside. "Lock him in the cellar," he told the men. "Tomorrow we will decide what to do with him." The cellar was cold and dark, stone walls, no windows, a single door with a heavy lock. They threw me down the steps and slammed the door behind me. I sat in the darkness for hours. My jaw ached, my lip was swollen, but my mind was clear for the first time in years. I thought about the mother's face, her smile, the words she had spoken. "God loves you." Not Allah, God. A different name. But somehow I knew it was the same being, the one who had created the stars I had watched earlier that evening. 3 days they kept me in that cellar, 3 days without food. Only water my mother smuggled to me when my father was at the mosque. On the second night, she whispered through the door, "They are planning something terrible, Khalid. Abu Hassan wants to make an example of you." "What kind of example?" I asked. Her voice broke. "A public execution. They say you have become an apostate." My blood turned cold. Apostasy was the worst crime in our community. The punishment was always death. But even knowing this, I could not bring myself to regret what I had done. The light I had seen was real. The love in that woman's eyes was real. More real than all the hatred I had been taught. On the third day, Abu Hassan came to the cellar door. "Your father has agreed," and he said, "Tomorrow at noon in the town square, you will have one chance to repent, to ask Allah's forgiveness. If you refuse..." He did not need to finish the sentence. That night, my mother came one last time. She brought me bread and water, and something else. A small piece of paper folded many times. "A friend gave this to me," she whispered. "Someone who knows what happened that night." After she left, I unfolded the paper. In the dim light from under the door, I could barely make out the words. They were written in Arabic, but they were not from the Quran. "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Below that, an address, a place outside the city walls. I stared at those words for a long time. Come to me, not bow to me, not fear me, not kill for me. Come to me. My heart began beating faster. This was an invitation, a way out. But escaping would mean leaving everything, my family, my city, my entire life. I looked at the paper again. I will give you rest. For 28 years, I had never known rest. Only anger, only fear, only the constant weight of hatred. I made my decision. Just before dawn, when the guard dozed off, I picked the old cellar lock with a bent nail, a skill I had learned as a child. Never thinking I would use it to escape my own home, I climbed out into the grey morning light and ran toward the city walls. Behind me, the call to prayer echoed from the minaret. Ahead of me lay the unknown. I ran through the desert for hours. The sun climbed higher. My throat burned with thirst. My legs trembled with exhaustion, but I kept running. The address on the paper led me to a small valley hidden behind rocky hills. As I climbed over the last ridge, I saw them. A group of tents scattered around a small spring. Smoke rising from cooking fires, children playing in the shade, refugees, Christians who had fled from cities like mine. I stood on the ridge for a long time, watching them. My training told me these were enemies. My heart told me they were just people, families trying to survive. An old man noticed me first. He was drawing water from the spring. When he saw me standing on the hill, he waved. Actually waved. Like I was a friend. I walked down slowly. My rifle was gone, but I still looked like a fighter. My clothes were torn from running. My face was bruised from the beating. I must have looked dangerous, but the old man smiled when I reached the bottom. "You must be thirsty," he said in Arabic. He offered me a cup of cool water. I drank it in one gulp. It was the sweetest water I had ever tasted. "Thank you," I whispered. "What is your name?" "Son?" "Khalid." I waited for his face to change, for fear to replace kindness. Instead, he nodded. "I am Marcus. You are the one, are you not? The one who could not shoot." My blood went cold. How did he know? Marcus saw my fear. The mother, Sarah. She told us about you, about what happened that night. She escaped. They all did. We helped them leave the city before dawn. They are safe now. Relief flooded through me. The family was alive. The little girl with the beautiful laugh was safe. "Sarah left something for you," Marcus said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small wooden cross. She said to give this to the young man who chose love over hate. I took the cross with shaking hands. It was simple, rough wood tied together with string, but it felt warm in my palm. She also said you would understand when you were ready. "Understand what?" Marcus smiled. "Come. Sit with me." We sat by the spring. The water bubbled softly over smooth stones. Marcus opened a worn book. "This is what Sarah wanted you to hear," he said, and he began to read. "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." The words hit me like lightning. I had been taught that the greatest love was to die killing enemies, but this said the greatest love was to die saving friends. "There is more," Marcus continued. "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life." God loved the world, not just Muslims, not just Christians, the whole world. Who is this son? I asked. Jesus, Marcus said gently. He came to save everyone, even you, Khalid. Especially you. I thought about the warm light in Sarah's house, the peace on her face when she looked at me through the rifle scope, the love in her eyes when she could have shown fear. How do I started, then stopped. The question felt too big. How do you accept him? Marcus finished. I nodded. It is simple. Tell him you are sorry for the hurt you have caused. Ask him to forgive you. Ask him to be your Lord. I looked at the little cross in my hands. This Jesus had died for me. While I was still his enemy, he had died for me. Tears began flowing down my cheeks. Years of anger. Years of hatred, years of emptiness, all pouring out at once. I am sorry, I whispered. Jesus, I am so sorry. Marcus put his hand on my shoulder. He forgives you, son. He has already forgiven you. Jesus, I said louder, I give you my life. All of it. Take my past, take my future. I am yours. The moment I said those words, something extraordinary happened. The warm light I had seen in Sarah's house filled my chest. Completely. The emptiness that had lived there for 28 years was gone. For the first time in my life, I felt truly free. That was 3 years ago. I am still alive, though many have tried to kill me. I live in a small apartment in Jordan now. I work at a bakery. My hands that once held rifles now knead bread. My eyes that once looked through scopes now watch children play in the street. Every morning I wake up, and the first thing I feel is peace. Not the fake peace of empty prayers, but real peace. Jesus is with me when I open my eyes. He is with me when I close them at night. The owner of the bakery is a Christian man named Joseph. He knows my story. He hired me anyway. Jesus changes hearts, he said. I have seen it many times. I am learning to read the Bible, slowly. My Arabic is good, but some of the words are new to me. Words like grace, mercy, forgiveness. In my old life, these were signs of weakness. Now I understand they are the strongest forces in the universe. Sometimes at night, I dream about my family, my father's angry face, my mother's tears, Abu Hassan's threats. I wake up sad, but not afraid. I pray for them. I ask Jesus to touch their hearts the way he touched mine. I have tried to contact my mother twice. Both times, the messages came back with warnings. Khalid is dead to us, my father told the messenger. We have no son. This hurts, but I understand. In their world, I have become the enemy, a traitor, an apostate. They cannot love me without betraying everything they believe. So I wait, and I pray, and I hope that someday, somehow, they will see the same light I saw in Sarah's house. I help other refugees now, men and women who have fled from violence. Some are Christians, some are Muslims, some believe nothing at all. I give them bread. I listen to their stories. I share mine when they are ready to hear it. Last month, a young man came to the bakery. He looked familiar, angry eyes, tense shoulders, the way I used to look. He was asking questions about me, watching me work. I knew he was there to kill me. Instead of running, I walked over to him. I offered him tea. We sat together outside the shop. You know who I am, I said. He nodded. His hand moved toward his jacket, probably a knife. Before you do what you came to do, I said, let me ask you something. Are you happy? He stared at me. What? In your heart. Right now. Are you happy? His eyes flickered. For just a moment, the anger cracked. Behind it, I saw the same emptiness I had carried for so many years. Happiness is not important, he said. Duty is important. I used to believe that too, I told him. But what if you are wrong? What if there is something better than duty? Something better than anger? We talked for 2 hours. He did not kill me. He did not convert either. But when he left, his eyes were different, confused, questioning. That is how it starts, with questions, with cracks in the wall of certainty. I do not know his name, but I pray for him every day. If you are listening to this story, maybe you are like I was. Maybe you are like that young man, angry, empty, following orders from people who promised you purpose but gave you only hatred. I want you to know something. The same Jesus who saved me wants to save you. It does not matter what you have done. It does not matter how far you have fallen. It does not matter how many people you have hurt. He loves you. He is calling your name right now the way he called mine in that desert. You just have to listen. You just have to say yes. Fim da Historia.